Good morning, Dr. Bryson here, and we're going to talk about the syllabus for the criminology class here at Glenville State College, and this is for the fall of 2022. I'm going to share my screen now so you can see the syllabus. I'm going to enlarge it on the screen a little bit so you can see it a little better. So you can see that this is for the fall of 2022, and it is an online class. If you're wondering about my office hours, I am no longer a full-time professor at Glenville. I'm teaching this class as an adjunct. I'm teaching full-time at another school. So if you need to talk to me with office hours, we need to arrange a time for me to either speak to you via Zoom or via the telephone. So let's jump into this. First is the course description. This course is about the biological, psychological, and sociological theories of crime. So I want you to read the syllabus. I'm not going to read it word for word. That's why we put it into a document, so you can read it. I'm just going to highlight things. So I want you to read everything on the syllabus. Take note of the course level objectives, the course objectives. There are 6 of them. The national standards of the ACJS, they do not accredit programs, so it's really not cost efficient to have them come review because it doesn't give you an accreditation. However, in this course, I do try to adhere to their standards. So then you've got a list of the textbooks here. Notice that the American Psychological Association's 7th edition is on here. You need to be using the 7th edition. Next, the methods of evaluation. So we've got the due dates, how many points each thing is worth, and a brief name or description of the particular graded assignment. You can see the dates here. They are present. So just take note of that. So there are 3 types of assignments in the class. There are quizzes and tests. Quizzes are worth 10. Tests are worth 100. There are no quizzes in units 4 or 8 because there are 2 tests in those units. There's a final project. This final project is a literature review. We'll talk about that in a minute. Learning reflection discussion posts. So your discussion posts are simply going to be to reflect on, and there will be specific instructions for each one, but to reflect on what you learned in that particular unit that you can use in your work as a professional. We've got the grading scale and all that. Technology needed for my classes. Do not use a Chromebook. Chromebooks do not give you the ability to type papers properly, and you will be counted off. If you're not using a PC or a Mac, and so you don't have functionality with Microsoft Word, I'm sorry, but you have to have that functionality. It has to work. It has to work properly. So you have to be able to type a paper in full, correct APA 7 format. If you can't, and you cannot on a Chromebook, your grade will be affected. So you need Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Download them on your computer. If the internet goes out, you got them. Plus, you can change your default settings. If you're using the online version, you cannot change the default settings. Every time you have to remember every setting you need to fix. Okay, so you need a PDF reader. You got to have internet access for an internet-based course, obviously. You need a web browser that gives you access to the GSC library and includes a general search engine. And you need a program that permits you to view videos, including YouTube videos. All right, so the absence policy for this class. It's an online class, so I measure your attendance by how much you participate in the class. Now, if you fail to log in at least 3 times a week, you're not really participating in the class. However, even doing that is the bare minimum, and you're not likely going to succeed. When I was working on my doctorate, I logged on 3 times a day, morning, midday, and evening. Right, late policy. 10% deduction of the total possible grade for every day it's late up to 3 days. After 3 days, I do not accept late work, period. Don't test me on this. I will not accept late work. If it's 3 days late, more than 3 days late, you're not getting any credit for it. It's a 0. If it's 1 day late, you get 10% deducted from the top before it's even graded. If it's 2 days late, 20% deducted from the top. 3 days late, 30% deducted from the top. So if you submit something 3 days late, it's worth 100 points, then the highest grade you can get is a 70%. That's a low C. All right. One other thing, midterm and final exams will not be accepted late, period. They will not be accepted late. We have deadlines to get your grades in for midterms and finals. They will not be accepted late. All right, no cheating allowed. So read the GSU academic dishonesty statement in Part B of the syllabus, but here in Part A, take note of my specific stuff regarding this. Okay, the public must be able to trust that we will administer justice fairly, or that if you're going to be a therapist, say you're a psychology major and you're taking this, but whatever, anyone taking this class, the profession you're going for is a profession that requires the highest levels of trust necessary. Now, if you've never cheated before and it's the first incident in this class, you're going to get a 0 for the assignment, and I will refer you to academic affairs. So this is going to go on your record. If it's the second incident, you're going to get an F for the entire semester for the class, and I'm going to refer you to academic affairs. Now, academic affairs can then move to dismiss you from the college. Now, if you have cheated before, if I am aware that you have engaged in prior academic dishonesty, or I hear that you're engaging in academic dishonesty in other classes, I will likely request that you be dismissed from as a student at Glenville. Okay, cheating is there's no excuse for it, none. Next is the unit schedule, so you can see that, and if you'll notice, each one it gives the readings for each unit, and then when you scroll down, oh, by the way, it says when the final exam week is. It also says when fall commencement is, and then there are some things about the major project. I'm going to do a separate video on the major project, so I'm going to stop the recording right here, and then we will go to the major project.